Have you ever been to West Hylebos Wetlands in Federal Way? It's a great place to take in some of these gorgeous views. Hi, I'm Arlecier West, and welcome to King County at your service. There's some good news for families trying to navigate through tough times. A new team is providing services and hope. They're a part of the Children's Crisis and Outreach Response System.
Hi, my name is Grace Martin from CORS. I can come out to where you are right now. Is that something that you would want? Okay.
My name is Grace. I'm a crisis intervention specialist with CORS, and that stands for Children's Crisis Outreach Response System. I'm a licensed social worker in the state of Washington, and my role is to provide crisis stabilization and de-escalation for families and youth in King County.
I'm gonna see what kind of support we can offer, and we're gonna try to make an action plan, and we'll get you going in a good direction, okay?
And I'm Carla Peterson. I'm a parent partner with CORS. So I walk alongside parents and basically am a shoulder to cry on if they need it. We share experiences. We're here to help. You've got a team.
We're short-term crisis response and stabilization service. We work with a team approach to meet the many different needs of the family.
My role here is to support you in this whole process. I was able to talk to your dad, so I know a little bit about what's going on, but I want to hear it from you too.
Some of the factors that might lead to a crisis, maybe there's been a change in the family's living situation. Maybe they recently moved either from another state or another country. Maybe there's been some challenges in communicating with school to get adequate school support. Maybe there's been conflict at home. Maybe there has been a separation.
And I'm a single father, so is there did it cost any money for this program?
This is completely free.
Yeah.
It's paid for by King County. I know from experience that it just helps to have someone who gets what you're going through.
My name is Hannah. I'm a case manager, crisis case manager and family advocate. So my role is to find resources, connect them to a long-term services, and also just being a part of a team that help family create a safety plan and action plan.
Dad asked about parent support for him.
We empower our clients and build resilience.
As a result, families will have new skills, families will have new resources, families will have a plan. When given the opportunity and the conditions, families can have success.
Here's a question to ponder. How would you describe your mom? Well, check out how some of the Metro employees are celebrating their moms and celebrating the American, Asian, Native Hawaiian, and Pacifica heritage in King County.
It's a sensitive subject because it's womanhood, it's immigrations, it's race. You're honoring people, and how do you do that? My name is Lynn Huang, and I work for King County as a graphic designer. All of the bus stop signs out there come from my desk, so. King County put out this call for artists to ANHP identifying artists to submit to celebrate our heritage. So Keiko and I decided that we were going to submit something together.
It was outside of work and we were just talking about this. Well, should we put something in for this? There's just mothers all around us, mothers in this room, mothers who are transit operators, who work in every part of Metro.
Representation is very important. Representation is validation. I always bring insight into our identities. This is Nasir's mom. Her name is Nurkhan. There aren't that many trees around. Where he grew up, his mom would always say, when it gets really hot and you can't find a shade, go find a birch tree. She provides the shade when it's not there. Marima Naidu. She's the mother of Vilash Naidu, who is a transit operator. She got married very young as a teen. The background is the banana tree, and that represents her resilience because banana trees, they give a lot. This is Mary Jane. She is the mother of Keiko Budek, and she's also an artist. She gives herself to her family, and so that's represented in the vine in the background. It is actually a passion fruit vine. If you've ever opened a passion fruit, it looks like a billiard ball, and then when you open it, it looks like a geode on the inside. It's like a normal looking vine is her life, but then inside of that vine, there is so much beauty. I chose red to represent my mom, C, Lê, because she is a very fierce woman. She grew up during the Vietnam War, and so resources were always very scarce. Even when I was growing up in Vietnam, resources were scarce, and it was a source of a lot of conflicts. She works tirelessly, and she sends money home so that everyone can get out of the state of not having enough. And I chose a papaya tree to represent my mom. So the papaya tree in Vietnamese translates to just enough. We may look like immigrants, but not all of us are. There is more to us than our appearance. I hope that people see these stories and validate themselves in how hard they work.
Those powerful stories of mothers, of their resilience and their strength and their sacrifices that often go untold.
Bellevue's 8th Street pedestrian bridge is now open. It features a new art piece that explores Japanese culture and the history of communities of color on the East Side.
My family, on my father's side, was a pioneer family in Bellevue. They were the ones who grew strawberries and lettuces and things, brought them across Lake Washington, and sold them in the Pike Place Market.
And then Pearl Harbor happened. Executive Order 9066 followed shortly thereafter, which ordered all people of Japanese descent on the West Coast to evacuate their homes. And a lot of the Bellevue Japanese Americans ended up at Tule Lake, which is in north central California. And that's where my grandparents ended up.
The artists involved came up with a great metaphor for life in Bellevue before and after the war by using a Japanese repair technique called kintsugi, which is repairing pottery with gold lacquer. And so they took that and showed the breadth of Bellevue, showing it broken but then restitched together.
People need to know this place where we live, this happened here. It was truly an integrated community that was ripped apart. Public art allows people to remember that wrong that was done and take from that the lesson that we should do better in the future.
Hopefully this is the beginning of more public art, more public experiences to come. You'll hear from the Japanese American community, never again is now. That's something that we think about a lot when we move forward with this work and what it means in a national context today.
Okay, are you ready for boatloads of science? Explore the sparkling waters of Puget Sound on King County's very own research vessel, the SoundGuardian.
Wind's blowing 5 to 10 knots from the northwest. It's sunny, perfect for doing oceanography in Puget Sound. Seattle Traffic Research Vessel SoundGuardian. Every week throughout the entire year, we do sampling and analysis in Puget Sound and Lake Washington on this boat.
It is, on the surface, interesting that the county has oceanographers on staff, considering that the Puget Sound is not technically the ocean. It's an estuary. It's not quite salty enough to be the ocean. But a lot of the principles that apply to oceanography more broadly also apply here in Puget Sound. We're really interested in what chemicals are in the water, how much oxygen is in the water, how salty is it, what critters are there, the phytoplankton, the zooplankton.
These are zooplankton, little critters, little animals that live and move in the water column.
You could take a scoop of water and know that they're there, but you can't see them without a microscope.
There's definitely a whole bunch of different types. Give them a swirl, and that's it. That's one sample.
The SoundGuardian is so key to the work that I do and my colleagues do here at King County. It's very important to get out in the water to collect data.
We are out independently collecting data. It's used by scientists who can help the decision makers make decisions that will impact the community positively.
Imagine keeping more than 1,400 high-tech buses rolling every day. Who does that? Our Metro mechanics, of course. Check out some of their skills and their new one-day hiring process.
You're not a rip. Is it neutral ground? Is the
The
last?
black and the blue and black wires.
I'm a mechanic.
So I think that's neutral ground.
I'm just starting out with King County Metro. I'm currently learning about all of the hybrid systems, learning about all the different systems on the coaches. I love it. Yeah, every day is a new day.
We have roughly 1,400 buses currently in inventory across the system. The need for new mechanics is huge for Metro.
Our main goal is to keep the coaches running so they can get passengers where they need to go.
I really like the camaraderie. Everybody is looking out for you. Everybody wants to support you. I was actually in nursing and in the medical field for the majority of my adult career. And I just woke up one day and just realized I didn't want to do that anymore. Oh, okay. At the time, my husband was actually in the diesel program and coming home and telling me about his day. And I was like, that sounds awesome. Like, that sounds like something that I would want to do. So I just went to school and I got my associate's degree in heavy diesel mechanics.
The job can be challenging. There is a lot of technology on the fleets.
Oh, so they're in line in this order. Okay.
One thing that's really cool about Metro is all of the troubleshooting, pretty much all the troubleshooting, all systems can be handled by a laptop nowadays.
Oh, there goes one. Loss of comms from MTS cooling pump.
We want to really provide opportunity for our folks to grow and succeed. For the mechanics, that means ongoing training as technology changes.
You can see it right here, see? When I get something that's troubleshoot and I fix it, that is a great day for me, so.
A good day for me is when I'm finishing up a big project and it fires up on the first try.
I've always said good mechanics have good jobs, and we're trying to attract good mechanics. So the one-day hiring event for candidates, we look at it as customer service.
We're going to complete all of the entire recruitment process in a single day. It's a lot more user-friendly than it was before. We know that once you've applied at Metro, you've also applied somewhere else, most probably, and we want all those talented folks coming to our facility.
Apply now, get in now. It does not matter if you get in exactly for the job you want. The room for growth and movement within King County is unparalleled.
Once a mechanic, it's always in your blood.
Go for it. Metro is an awesome place to work. I love it.
We love our small towns in King County. Where can you go hiking, fishing, and visit the world of Twin Peaks all in one day? North Bend, of course.
There is a magic to where we live, whether it's a beautiful sunny day or it's misty and a little drizzly, and you can almost hear the noir jazz music in the background, and you just sometimes have to stop and appreciate it.
North Bend does have an unusual feeling about it. You might see elk slowly walking out of the mist. You might see a hawk flying over. You encounter the Snoqualmie River just roaring past, and you get a feeling like you're about to enter into a different world.
The Snoqualmie tribe has lived in the North Bend area since time immemorial. They have many sacred sites in the Snoqualmie Valley, including many village sites and traditional tended prairies, where today they work on restoring the habitat for both plant and animal life, and they're just an amazing part of our community. The first settlers arrived to the Snoqualmie Valley in the late 1850s. With the arrival of the railway in 1889, North Bend was platted. And when the Sunset Highway was built, North Bend became a center for tourists. When people come to North Bend today, they'll find lots of recreational opportunities like climbing Mount Si and Rattlesnake Ridge. They'll find an amazing historic downtown district.
Our new ice cream shop.
Cute little shops, great restaurants. They'll find a historic movie theater that's as beautiful today as it was when it was first built.
The North Bend Theater was built in 1941. We purchased the theater in 2018 as part of a kind of a community effort to make sure it survives for the next generation. And this is the theater your great-grandparents might have been to. You might be sitting in the same seats they sat in.
You might be sitting in the seat that David Lynch sat in 1992 when he premiered Fire Walk with Me.
I think it really makes sense why David Lynch decided this diner was going to be the heart of his show, Twin Peaks, because Tweed's Cafe has been a really classic working class diner since the 1940s. When you walk into our diner, you get to experience the Double R Diner in real life. We get fans visiting us from all over the world 365 days a year to have a slice of cherry pie and a damn fine cup of coffee. One of the coolest things for me is watching fans walk through the front door and cry because they're just so happy to step into the world of Twin Peaks.
I'd say the water is an amazing part of the magic around here. Rattlesnake Lake is a really popular recreational spot, and just a half-mile walk along the shoreline of the lake is the Cedar River Watershed Education Center, where we have hands-on exhibits designed to engage people closer with their source of their drinking water. We also have a rain drum courtyard with a computerized system that brings drops of water down to play what we call rain drums. Living in North Bend has given me an opportunity to really live in close connection with nature, so I cherish this place from the bottom of my heart.
North Bend and the surrounding area is magical, and that magic really inspires people. You can see so much wildlife and nature and really feel connected with Mother Earth here, and it's awe-inspiring.
You may know it as the gateway to Mount Rainier, but did you also know it's called the City of Thunder? Let's visit the small town of Enumclaw.
Enumclaw is a gateway to the mountains. It's about a 1-hour drive from Seattle, and there's lots of neat reasons to show up in Enumclaw. Wine bars, brew pubs, hiking, berry picking in the late fall.
Enumclaw is a fun, sweet little town where people come together and put down roots, and usually those roots are long-term roots.
A lot of history here in Enumclaw, and you still have that tight-knit feeling of a community that cares about each other. That's why I've stayed here. Still enjoy being here.
Native American history in this area began perhaps 10,000 years ago or more, and the name Enumclaw comes from Native American legends. Here we are at Lake Walker, and above Lake Walker is Mount Enumclaw. And the story goes that there was a band of warriors that were camped at the base of this, and thunder came in, and they thought they heard things coming out of the rocks, and there was some element of evil spirits. They were frightened and named the place Enumclaw, it's the native word for great noises. The first European settlements began in the 1860s, mostly Northern European people who brought with them the ethic of cooperatives. And so at one point in time, Enumclaw was a land of many cooperatives. But Enumclaw's history really begins with the coming of the railroad and also the White River Lumber Company. On Griffin Street downtown is a loggers memorial because this was really a community of loggers. Enumclaw celebrations go way back to the Farmer's Picnic, and then later the Natchez Trails days. The King County Fair, the oldest fair west of the Mississippi, moved to Enumclaw about 1946, and then there's been many different parades held on the 4th of July and homecoming and what have you.
I remember days where the parades come into town and all the horse riders would actually ride their horses right through the taverns. The bagpipers certainly are a great part of the parade, but after the parade, they went through every restaurant and bar and played their bagpipes, and there's something about bagpipes that make you feel a little special in your heart. The town itself has so many events that they put on. Starting in May, we have 350 to 400 antique cruise cars will cruise through the town. A lot of fun.
Enumclaw is a great place to stop for breakfast on your way to Mount Rainier or Crystal Mountain. If you walk down Cole Street, you'll see independent local restaurants, pubs, lots of shops. It's just a neat place to be.
Enumclaw is very close to Mount Rainier, which makes it just a beautiful place to live. In the wintertime, amazing skiing, awesome snowshoeing, all the winter sports are available. And in the summer, of course, hiking, you have the whole national park of Mount Rainier. My husband and I moved here in 2003, so we're going on 21 years of living in Enumclaw, and we didn't expect to live here this long. We wanted a place where we could really connect with people, and that is truly what we have here.
My family has lived here for 4 generations, and Enumclaw has always been in my heart and soul.
Enumclaw is changing slightly, but it's still pretty much a community that everybody feels good about being in. My front yard, I can sit in my chairs, my wife and I sit there, and Mount Rainier is right there. I've got hundreds of pictures, but I still take more because it's so beautiful.
Thanks for joining us for King County at your service. Check us out online at kingcounty.gov/KCTV. I'm Arlecier West. We'll see you next time.